Okay, we will start now the test series introductory lecture for ethics. So, first of all, I want to congratulate all the students who have qualified for mains, because this specific test series we have kept only for those students who are giving this year's mains exam. So, I just want to explain what will be the first format of our test series, how we will proceed, and then I will also give some tips for writing good answers, because how you can fetch better marks in your test actual exam. So, now let us first see what will be the format of this test series which we have kept. See now there will be this already we have posted in the group also, so most of the students may be aware also. So, there will be total 6 tests, 4 sectional and 2 full syllabus. As you know, in ethics there are 2 parts in the question paper. First part is of theoretical questions, second part is of case studies. Theoretical questions, they are all put together in about 6 questions. There will be 13 parts, A, B, C, like that. And similarly, there will be another, in part B, there will be 6 case studies. So, first part is of 130 marks, second part is of 120. So, this is basically normal ethics paper which comes in actual exam. So, what we have done is, in sectional tests, we have divided this in 2 parts basically, one theoretical part, another case study part, and then accordingly we have reduced the time also. So, our tests will be basically of 90 minutes each sectional test, and full syllabus test will be of 3 hours and 250 marks. So, this we are starting from tomorrow. Actually 6 June we were to start introduction class, but we delayed for 1 week because of the certain exigencies. So, this is again in offline and online mode, so it will be available for both. Offline, as you have already been informed, in near Karol Bagh metro station, Grover chamber is there, so you can come. Examination hall is there, you can appear, write your test. Online links will be provided and material will be provided. You can download, print, and then write and send back. It will be evaluated. I will try to evaluate, and maybe within next, once the test is over, date is over, in next maybe 4 or 5 days, I will try to evaluate and let you know the result of your test. Now, this is the syllabus basically. You already, we might have gone, gone through it. This is syllabus of the UPSC GS4 paper, ethics, integrity and aptitude. Now, what we are doing is, on 14th June, that is tomorrow, theoretical questions on above referred syllabus, and this will be, there will be again 13 parts in that question, just like in actual exam. Part A it comes, so 13, basically 6 questions having 13 parts. So, theoretical questions on above referred syllabus on 14th June. This will be 130 marks and it will be for 90 minutes. Then again case studies on above syllabus on 21st June, which will be again 90 minutes only, and there will be 6 case studies. So, and same thing we will again repeat on 28th June and 5th July. On 12th July and 19th July we are having full fledged exam. So, theoretical questions and case studies as it actually comes in exam. So, that will be on 12th and 19th July. As you know, I also am taking the philosophy test series. So, philosophy test series we are to start from day after tomorrow. So, the students who were online, they suggested that perhaps I can postpone that for 1 week, so that they can prepare well and then appear. So, I mean the students who are online, after I end, I will ask you also, what is your view, because can you appear tomorrow, or you also want for postpone, because these things are for your benefit. It is not going to benefit me in any way. So, if you, unless you give the test very seriously, your evaluation itself will be not correct. So, if you also feel that it needs to be postponed for 1 week or so, I can do that, I have no issue, because the main purpose is that in ethics paper we should try to score about 150 marks. So that should be our target. 60% marks should be our target, 150, and any marks above 140 is good for me. So 140 to 150 is good, 150 plus is excellent, and that's what our target should be. So this is the schedule of basically the ethics paper which I have published. If any change is there, I will try to ask you after I end the class. Now, second thing I just want to tell you is in ethics paper, how to write a good answer, or how to write answer for a good, good answer for a case study, because as you know there are 2 parts in ethics paper. So if you see, part wise we will go. So first part A we will discuss, how to write good answer for part A, and then how to write good answer for case studies. So this is, let us discuss first part A. Now directive precision is very, very important, because whatever is asked in question we have to tackle that very, very important. If you forget that, if you don't read question properly, and if you start writing whatever you know on that topic, you are not going to get marks. So just examples are, few examples are given. There are several other terms also which will be used in question. So first example is discuss, let us say. So present both views with neutrality. Both views means you have to positive views, negative views regarding the question or regarding the topic. Critically examine, weigh strengths and limitations, evaluate, provide a judgment with evidence. Similarly, there may be explain, or similarly, I mean, so many ways the questions are asked. So we have to decipher that and then accordingly try to write. And as you know, number of words are 150. So we have to be very, very careful that unnecessary things we don't write. Otherwise, for important and necessary things you will not get time. Then second point is precise definition of ethical concepts. This is very important, because unless you study properly and understand the context and the concepts clearly, you will not be able to do that. So definitions has to be precise. For example, 1 or 2 examples have been given, but these are examples only. So there are so many other things which we have to remember, and we have to practice also for writing that. For example, integrity means acting rightly even in the absence of oversight, guided by internal moral compass. And avoid theoretical padding or moral cliches, because that examiner will understand very clearly. So if we just try to fill the words, examiner will understand very quickly and he will not give the marks. Now next is this I keep on telling in my classes also, which weekly classes I take. Administrative relevance of the ethical concepts is very important. That you have to mention in theoretical answers also, because in case studies anyway we mention that, but in theoretical also you have to mention. So because then your answers will not be abstract only, it will have some practical input also. So accordingly we have to do. So bridge abstract ethics with governance application. For example, policy examples, dilemmas, citizen interface, etc. So this is very again important. Then strategic use of ethical theories. So some examples are given, but there are 27 theories. In fact, I keep on telling in one of my videos, you can see on YouTube, I have mentioned also there are 27 ethical theories, different ethical theories, and a few more also may be there, which we can use in a very, very strategic manner. I mean, it's not that all has to be used in one. So wherever it's required, wherever it's relevant, accordingly we have to use. So for example, Kantian ethics or Mill's utilitarianism or Aristotelian virtues or Gandhian or Indian ethics, Jaina ethics is there, Buddha ethics is there, or environmental ethics is there, war ethics is there. So, I mean, so many. So, these are some examples, but we have to use it very, very properly, and this is what has to be done. Then realistic and service based examples, very important. In theoretical questions, this has to be mentioned, whether it is schemes, whether it is governance events, whether it is all India service officers or central officers, examples who have done good work in the field. So all those things we can mention properly. Then moral dilemmas and administrative trade-offs. Now this is basically in a way related to case study also, but in theoretical questions also, in some questions this may be applicable, your moral dilemmas and administrative trade-offs. So that also we can try to, if it is applicable, we can try to mention there also, so that ethical decisions involve competing principles, transparency versus, I mean this is what Kidder's dilemma doctrine is there. So transparency versus confidentiality, truth versus compassion, rule based justice versus spiritual equality, reflects moral complexity and realism. Then again conclusion is very important, philosophical closure in conclusion. So this in fact I will give one example also how to write a good answer, just to make you understand what is a bad answer and what is a good answer. So I will just try to explain at the end of my lecture, but then conclusion is very important, and in fact I will say that introduction as well as conclusion both are very important. So if your introduction is very engaging and conclusion is also very engaging, you are going to definitely get better marks. Now ethical tone and structure, now this has to be there. I keep on telling to the students, please prepare a notebook, whether it is digital or physical, write all keywords there or phrases which are ethical in nature, and try to understand that and try to use it also in your answers and practice also, because then only you are going to get better marks. Then your sentences have to be clear, your transition from one paragraph to other paragraph has to be very linked one, and you can use these kind of words, for example, however, thus, in contrast, etc. Then underlining keywords is very important. I have written if time permits, but time should permit, because last 5 minutes of any examination you should keep for these things. All important words and key phrases you have to underline, please understand that. Then paragraph format is always better than bullet points unless logically required. So in fact 1 or 2 answers I was seeing, the students have written is 1, 2, 3 numbering, and not paragraph. Now numbering unnecessary or unnecessary bullet points are not going to fetch you better marks. Paragraph format is much better if it is properly linked, if it progresses properly from introduction to conclusion. So please try to adhere to paragraph format. However, yes, if bullet points or numbering 1, 2, 3 etc. is logically required there, because you have to enumerate something where 1, 2, 3 you have to tell, please do that, because that may be useful. But normally in any answer of 150 words, paragraph format is always better. Each point or each idea you keep on changing the paragraph, so accordingly you can manage your answer. Then word economy and time management, very important, because I can tell you ethics paper is very demanding as far as time management is concerned. If you don't manage your time properly, you are not going to complete your paper also, all questions also you may not be able to attend. So therefore stick to 140 to 160, because 150 word question, maybe 10 words this way or that way is okay for this. So this you please do. Every line must serve a function, not a filler. There should not be any padding. So you have to, if you know, you write it properly, and 140, 160 words you complete. Save time for longer case studies answer. So that also is very important, because case studies you have to read it also properly and then answer it, because 250 words case studies you have to answer. So that also is important. Then moral maturity and administrative balance is also very important, because these qualities is empathy with decisiveness, integrity with adaptability, justice with sensitivity, courage with restraint. This is very important in your answer. It should reflect basically. So this is again your moral maturity also should reflect in your answering your the questions. And again, as a word of caution, avoid preachy or idealistic overtones, because this is not going to do good for you as far as the fetching of marks is concerned. Now what are the guidelines, or what are the important points as far as case studies are concerned? Let us try to understand that. Now use ethical frameworks. First point I keep on emphasizing, because your you have to first understand these frameworks and accordingly use also. So apply structured models to frame and analyze the dilemma. Kidder's paradigm, truth versus loyalty. Example, truth versus loyalty, individual versus community, short term versus long term, justice versus mercy. These 4 paradigms he has given. Potter box model, that you first define facts, then identify values, then apply principles, then prioritize loyalties, and then decide. Then Marcula's centers 5-step option. So this again is very, very important, because all three: recognize, evaluate, identify and make a decision and act. So three basically are the models to analyze the case studies and understand what kind of dilemma is there. So accordingly then you can try to answer. So these frameworks add analytical depth. So if you use these, the examiner will definitely understand that you have studied the whole thing well and you are trying to analyze it properly, and accordingly you will answer also. Then precise framing of ethical dilemma. So after the first analysis, first point, you have to precisely frame what is the ethical dilemma in about 30 to 40 words. So start with a sharp summary of ethical situation. What is the core conflict? Which values or duties are in tension? Which administrative or constitutional role do you hold? So for example, this is example how you will begin your answer of the case study. As a district magistrate, I must implement a judicial eviction order while ensuring dignity and rehabilitation of displaced tribal families. So this is an example given how you will start basically answering a case study. Stakeholder mapping is very important, because then only you will try to understand what is actual ethical dilemma. Unless you do that, you will not understand. So this also is very important. So do that, write it properly in your answer. So this again also makes examiner understand that you are having some analytical depth and you are able to understand the whole case study properly. For example, stakeholders can be public or officer himself or government or community or media. So all these things, and then what are the values at stake, then again what are the impact levels, whether it is high or medium or low. So because if low impact is there, it can be neglected. If very high impact is there, it has to be definitely very carefully dealt with. So this kind of analysis also is very important. Then again, it should cover all affected actors, whether it directly or indirectly, because some may be affected directly, some may be affected indirectly also. Then again, you have to explain ethical values in conflict. What are ethical values? See, number of words also I have given. This should be a framework of your answer, because if you spend more words than this, you will not be able to complete your answer in 250 and your answer will become disbalanced basically. So ethical values in conflict you have to explain about 30 to 40 words. So explicitly list opposing values. So explicitly list, so for example, rule of law versus human dignity, confidential versus right to know, neutrality versus moral response. So if these ethical values are in conflict, you have to clearly tell. And you have to use ethical terms also. In the beginning only I told you prepare a notebook, you write those terms, memorize that, understand that, and try to use probity, prudence, non-partisanship, empathy, justice, transparency, and so on. Huge number of about hundreds of words may be there. Option analysis, again 60 to 80 words you have to spend for option analysis. So present 2-3 feasible and lawful alternatives, because see, I keep on telling in my normal classes also, your options cannot be illegal. So all options have to be legal, and then you have to basically state that these are 2-3 options, and then accordingly you have to analyze it applying various ethical theories. So this is what has been written here. So for example, there are 3 options, just example has been given. Then there may be 4 options also in some cases, there may be 2 options also. So depending on the case study, the number of options will be there. So and then you have to find out which case study supports which option, or which ethical theory supports which option, and then accordingly which is strong, where the loss is going or damage is going to be huge. So all those things you can explain. Then clearly link each option to the value it defends and the trade-offs it demands. And then decision and ethical justification in 80 to 100 words. This is very important part of the answer, because this is the crux of the answer basically. So if this is not right, you are not going to get marks. So decision and ethical justification in 80 to 100 words you have to write. Choose the option which is best aligning with law, ethics and compassion, etc. Justify with the various ethical theories. Here some examples are given, but as I told, there are about 27 ethical theories. So you have to find out which ethical theories applies where, and then accordingly you have to apply and justify your option. Then along with ethical theories, there are constitutional values also, because if you are dealing with Indian context, definitely Indian administration constitutional values are there. Few are given as example, but there may be other articles also of constitution which will apply. Then practical measures. So legal opinion, stakeholders dialogue, use of various schemes, government schemes, adherence to due process. So this also is important. Then show how legality and empathy are harmonized, because see, In ethics, as you know, your administration should not only be legal, but it should be ethical also. I mean, that should be the objective, and accordingly you have to show that also. Then conclusion with ethical insight. This again 20 to 30 words you have to spend for that. So end with a moral affirmation or visionary closure. So one or two example is given. This is just example, but there may be several others also like that. So that then writing style and tone. This is again very important. Language should be clear, confident, morally grounded. Words have to be used, ethical words have to be used properly. Tone has to be empathetic, constitutionally aware and solution oriented. Constitutional values are very, very important because you are dealing with Indian context, and Indian administration is constitutional. It has to be as per the constitutional morality. Structure, prefer paragraph format, use tables or bullets only for clarity. This again, or along with that, I will also use numbering, etc., or headings, subheadings also only for clarity essentially required. Highlighting is very important. Underline or emphasize the key ethical principles if time permits. Here it is written, I have written if time permits, but I request you, please, at least save 5 minutes, last 5 minutes in your exam to do this, because this is very, very important. This is going to attract the examiner's attention, and you are going to get better marks with this. Then word and time management for case studies, 250 words as you know, so it should be within 230 to 270 words range, and it cannot be more or less, because if it is more or less, it's not in this range, you are going to, your marks are going to be deducted. The introduction and conclusion should be about 60 to 70 words, and balance can be, I have already given how many words each, so that also you can understand. Focus on dilemma, stakeholder impact and justification is very, very important. So this completes how we can write a good answer as far as ethics is concerned. Now I will show you one example, because many students may say what is a bad answer, what is a good answer. So now let me tell you. Okay. Okay, I will take this question. Ethics is not about choosing between right and wrong, but between right and right. Examine this statement with an example from public administration. Now this is 150 words question, and this is 10 marks question. Now I will give you 5 answers for the same question. So that you can understand what is a poor answer, what is a average answer, what is a good answer, and how further we can this thing. So again, I will read question again. Ethics is not about choosing between right and wrong, but between right and right. Examine this statement with an example from public administration. So this is 150 words. Now very poor, what can be very poor? I have not written it because just to make, the qualities are very poor if you can understand. There is no relevance of answer, then no content is there, and they are not sticking to word limit also. So this is very poor kind of thing. But what I understand that the students who have joined me or who are before me are anyway not going to, so I write very poorly, so I have not written anything. So now next answers are there. Poor, this is poor answer. Now I will not read it because it will take time. I will put it in the group so that you can just understand yourself what can be a poor answer. But I will definitely try to read the qualities or comments of the poor answer. Now what can be poor answer? It lacks clarity, then the thought is haphazard, then lacks depth and lacks full relevance. So these are the qualities of poor answer. Then let me come to average. Again average. Now what is average answer? Basic understanding is there, limited depth is there, vague example has been given, and smooth paragraphs changes have been made. So this is the average kind of answer, which may fetch you about 30%, 35% marks or so. What is a good answer? Now good answer qualities will be deep insight is there, layered example has been given, compelling expressions are used, required references have also given, smooth paragraphs changes are there, enhanced visibility of important words and phrases have been done. So here in this answering, I have made it bold. So whatever, wherever I have made it bold, you can underline it actually in the actual exam. So that is means enhanced visibility of the important words and phrases. So these are qualities of a good answer. Good answer means you are going to get about 50% marks for this. 50 to 55% if examiners reads properly. Now what can be the excellent answer? First let us try to understand what is the quality of excellent answer. Deep insight is there, a layered example, compelling expression, smooth paragraph changes, enhanced visibility of important words and phrases. So all these are qualities are in the good answer also. Now what we have added here, more engaging beginning and end, and inclusion of all important references. So now I will read for you, I will try to read what is the excellent answer, which can fetch you sometimes, if examiner is impressed, 65 to 70% marks also. And my target with the students who are with me, about 13 have joined, our target, as I told in the beginning only, it will be about 150 marks and not below at least 140. So now let us try to read it. But before reading it, we will see what is the question and then we will try to come here, because just to comprehend the whole thing properly. So ethics is not about choosing between right and wrong, but between right and right. Examine this statement with an example from public administration. Now this is the question. Now let us see what can be the excellent answer for this, which will fetch you about 70 to 75% of marks. The true test of ethics begins when both choices appear noble, yet only one can be chosen. As Roosevelt Kidder famously noted, ethical dilemmas often lie not in choosing right over wrong, but in reconciling right with right. Michael Sandel similarly insists that justice must confront moral complexity, not avoid it. Consider a district collector ordered to evict slum dwellers from land allocated for a school. Constructing the school promotes the right to education, that is Article 21A, and long-term equity, yet eviction endangers the right to shelter and dignity, that is Article 21 of the poor. Both choices are ethically sound. Rigid rule following cannot resolve this. Guided by Raoult's justice as fairness, the officer must ensure procedural justice through dialogue, humane relocation under day annulum, and rehabilitation via PMAY. These are government schemes you are knowing already. This approach reflects Gandhian compassion, Ambedkar's constitutional morality, and Paul Appleboy's view that public administration is inherently ethical. Ultimately, ethics in governance is not about choosing the easy right, but crafting the just path between competing goods with vision, courage, and humanity. Now you see, beginning and end are very attractive. Appropriate example has been given, appropriate referencing has been given, constitutional provisions have been quoted, the thinkers' names have been quoted. So basically, this makes this answer, 150 words answer, quite balanced and excellent answer. Now it may definitely fetch above 60% marks, absolutely no doubt about that. But if examiner is by chance impressed, he may get 70 to 75% marks also, this kind of question. So now this is the what I want to tell you today. Now the students who are online, I just want to ask you, because I don't know how many are there, let me see. Yes, Siddharth, Chaitanya. Okay. I think both of you have already talked, so I am not going to ask about background. But yeah, you can tell me about test. Now you want this test also to be postponed for 1 week, or you are okay with this schedule?
So I can write it on 16th. If I get 2 days to study, I can write it on 16th. But we should ask Chaitanya.
नहीं 16th नहीं है ना, 14th कल ही है टेस्ट ये. हैं? नहीं 2-3 दिन नहीं होगा ना, फिर मैं सैटरडे ही जाऊंगा, क्योंकि फिर वो गड़बड़ हो जाएगा, फिर वो अगेन इट विल आल्सो बी पोस्टपोन फॉर 1 वीक. So you are saying that this test also should be postponed for 1 week. ठीक है, ऐसा ऐसा कर लेंगे, बिकॉज इसमें तो 6 टेस्ट ही हैं, तो 6 टेस्ट तो वैसे भी कंप्लीट हो जाएगा, पहले हो जाएगा, है ना। बट उसमें इसमें दिक्कत बस यही आएगी ना कि आप सब लोग, ज़्यादातर लोग, क्योंकि कई बच्चे ज्वाइन नहीं किए इसीलिए कि वो दूसरी कोचिंग में होंगे, कहीं इधर उधर होंगे. बट एनीवे, आई एम नॉट फोर्सिंग ऑल्सो एनीबडी टू ज्वाइन. इफ यू आर इंटरेस्टेड, इफ यू आर फील दैट इट्स वैल्यू टू यू, देन ओनली यू शुड ज्वाइन, बिकॉज यू शुड नॉट वेस्ट योर टाइम एंड आई शुड नॉट वेस्ट माई टाइम एज वेल. बट अगर वैल्यू लगता है तो ज्वाइन करेंगे, नहीं तो नहीं करेंगे, बट दैट इज ऑल राइट. बट the point is, since 2 of you have joined, so your suggestion is that next week we can do. That's all you are telling. Okay, ठीक है. नहीं, क्या क्या बोल रहे हैं, फिर से बोलो. क्या यार, पोल रन मैं इतना पूछापाछी क्यों करूंगा यार, मैं नहीं करूंगा भाई, वो सब नहीं होगा, क्योंकि अब बाकी इतने सीरियस बच्चे थे तो किसी को ज्वाइन भी तो करना था ना भाई, सबको इन्फॉर्म था ना कि आज अभी क्लास होनी है. तो see, perhaps they have taken a call that it doesn't add value to them, so it's okay with me. I mean, I see, my point is very simple. I am offering something, but others should evaluate na, whether it is useful for them or not. So accordingly they will take a call, है ना. तो I will simply tell कि भाई अब ये इस हफ्ते से नहीं, अगले हफ्ते से होगा. अब ठीक है, जो जिसने ज्वाइन किया उससे मैंने पूछ लिया. नहीं, तैयार नहीं है भाई, वही फिलॉसफी वाली हालत ही है मेरी. इथिक्स का भी तैयार नहीं है मेरे पास. जो जैसे अब मैं आई थिंक परसों इथिक्स की क्लास ले रहा हूँ, उसमें आई विल बी सम टॉपिक, 3rd टॉपिक और 4th टॉपिक आई एम गोइंग एट, बट वो 3rd और 4th टॉपिक ही मैं फिर वो तैयार करूँगा. अभी मुझे बल्कि तैयार भी करना अभी जाके, तो आई हैव टू प्रिपेयर इट. तो okay, but case studies and some questions answers I am putting on YouTube also. I think you can check from there also. Some case studies are quite good which I have put there, so that may be of some relevance. But if you have already joined some coaching, they also may be telling almost similar things or same things only. I don't know what kind of things they are telling. So, but if it is
the quality of, I have read your question, your answers, so the quality is not same. I will check if you want. We can upload a few answers from there.
नहीं, क्वालिटी सेम मीन्स कि किसका अच्छा है, उनका अच्छा है कि मेरा अच्छा है.
आपका अच्छा है, आपका अच्छा है.
नहीं, तो फिर मैं खराब मैं क्यों देखूंगा यार. मुझे कोई अच्छा कुछ हो तो वो दिखाओ, ताकि आई कैन ऑल्सो इम्प्रूव अपॉन ना. मैं अब मेरे से जो खराब कर रहा है उसका मैं देख के, तो आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू लर्न एनीथिंग ना फ्रॉम दैट, बिकॉज ही आई एम ऑल्सो लर्निंग ओनली विथ यू. सो इफ somebody is able to prepare better content or better answers etc, that anyway I will try to learn from them. but अगर ऐसा कुछ है तो then you can tell me, otherwise वो छोड़ दो. फिर वो तो अगर मेरा ही अच्छा है तो फिर मैं उनसे क्यों सीखूंगा, फिर तो मैं अपने से बेहतर वाले से सीखूंगा ना भाई, है ना. तो ओके, ठीक है. फिर सिद्धार्थ और चैतन्य, सो आई थिंक वी विल पोस्टपोन दिस ऑल्सो फॉर 1 week एंड देन अकॉर्डिंग विल पोस्ट इन द ग्रुप, ठीक है. और फिर वो टेस्ट वही होगा कि सैटरडे को it will be for GS4 ethics and Sunday it will be for philosophy, ठीक है. और फिलॉसफी की एक क्लास मैं बीच में लूंगा आप लोगों के कहने पर, so you can decide and then post in the group, WhatsApp group. accordingly I will tell you the date, maybe Wednesday or Thursday or something like that. One day I can tell. And what time suits you? 9 to 10 it suits you in the night? नहीं, आप लोगों ने कोचिंग ज्वाइन कर रखी हो ना, दिन में इधर उधर कुछ करते होगे फिर है. नहीं, ठीक है. सो चलो मैं ठीक है, मैं देख लेता हूँ, मैं अपने टीम को भी पूछ लेता हूँ क्या टाइम सूट करेगा. सो यू आर ओके विथ इवन डे टाइम ऑल्सो, दैट्स व्हाट यू आर टेलिंग. ठीक है, ओके. सिंस ओनली 3 students are there, so accordingly we will see, then as per my convenience I will put you topic, you have to suggest me, ठीक है. Okay, then okay, thank you. Then we'll close this also. I have already completed. Thank you.